We've been talking about the Strait of Hormuz for months now, ever since the decision by Iran early on in its war with the US and Israel to strangle that shipping lane and effectively block oil and gas supplies getting out into global markets, as well as other materials like fertilizers there. And of course, the dispute over the Strait of Hormuz continues to this point as well, with the US and Iran both insisting they should control the strait. But attention is now also shifting to another waterway on the other side of the Arabian Peninsula, the narrow strait between Yemen and Africa known as the Bab el-Mandeb, the gateway to the Red Sea. Now, the Houthis are apparently on notice from their backers in Iran that they may be called on to block that shipping lane at a moment's notice. The trigger for that will be whether or not Donald Trump opens fire on power plants and other bits of energy infrastructure in Iran, expanding the US bombing raids beyond their current targets of ports and coastal defense systems. That is something that Donald Trump has threatened if Iran doesn't come to the negotiating table. Whether he follows through is another matter. He has made sweeping threats in the past and not followed through. And there is this hope that even though negotiations between the US and Iran are moving incredibly slowly, have not yielded much to this point, they could still reach some sort of deal. Just yesterday, an American who had been held in Iran since late 2024 was released, perhaps a gesture of goodwill there ahead of those further talks. But specifically on the Bab el-Mandeb, why is it so important? Well, when the Strait of Hormuz was blocked, the Saudis started to use that shipping lane to move large amounts of oil out and into global markets, taking advantage of the fact Saudi Arabia has two coastlines, one to the east, one to the west, and trying to ensure that the commodities which are so important to Saudi Arabia's economy could still get out into the open market. More broadly, if the Bab el-Mandeb was to be blocked, that would not only stop energy supplies getting out, putting more pressure on global markets, it would also heavily disrupt shipping as a whole, considering that the Suez Canal opens into the Red Sea. And we've seen in the past, when the Houthis have intervened and blocked that shipping lane, there has been havoc for global shipping right around the world, with companies having to make huge detours to get around that area. The Saudis and the Houthis have a long-running war anyway, and that threatened to flare up earlier this week when the Houthis claimed that the Saudis had attacked an airport in Yemen in a bid to stop an Iranian plane landing there, and the Houthis then opened fire on Saudi Arabia in retaliation, threatening the ceasefire between those two countries. So this is a very delicate situation. If it does happen, if the Bab el-Mandeb is shut down, it will not only mark a dangerous escalation in the US-Iran war, it will also show that this war is expanding. It is taking in even more issues, and the price that that will put on the global economy could be immense.